Hello, my name is Anastasia Kulibrick, and this is my Reteach It project on inclusion and its importance for the happiness and health of all beings. So, what is inclusion? There are many definitions surrounding the word inclusion. However, one of the ones that I think stood out to me the most, or that I feel summarized the word the most, was involving someone as part of something or part of a group. The important key word in this definition is part of, which we will touch on later. It is also the concept that no one should be left out slash excluded from a space, setting, experience, or activity. No one, key word in this is no one, no matter your physical appearance, mental abilities, your uh, outlook, your perspective, many different things that it could be based on, but the idea here is that no one should be left out. And furthermore, inclusion emphasizes the need for equal access and opportunities in all aspects of life. So, what is the difference between being in versus part of a community? This is a topic that I think is really important when discussing inclusion. This was mentioned in one of our reading assignments, and so being in a community means being present. Being present is just being physically present in a environment, such as being in a grocery store or being in a classroom setting. However, being part of an environment means being a member, being recognized, and being supported. This means that you're provided with a sense of belonging. There's equity and fairness, and an individual is given a voice. When we talk about belonging, there are many aspects that but having a sense of belonging provides someone. For example, it provides the someone with the feeling that they're needed, that they're present, that they're invited, that they're welcomed, known, accepted, involved, supported, heard, and befriended. So, are there really any downsides to inclusion? My opinion is that there's not. And I think mainly most people would agree with this take. Everyone truly benefits from inclusion. Inclusion brings in new ideas, new perspectives, innovation, belonging, increases happiness, increases productivity, provides growth, increases diversity, and increases collaboration. And there are so many more positive aspects of inclusion. But these are a few that I wanted to outline and really highlight in this section. So I really want you to think of a time when you were not included. For example, in middle school, I was not very good at sports. I didn't really know how to uh, shoot a basketball or kick a soccer ball. Wasn't really good at volleyball. And many individuals did not include me in sports during recess and in PE. I was usually the last person to be picked if we were required to be in teams. And it did not make me feel good. It made me feel like I wasn't skilled, and it made me feel like there was no reason I should even try because everyone expected the worst from me. So I want you to think of a time where you were not included. Think of the environment. In what environment did this happen? And for me, it happened in a school setting. Where did it happen for you? Why do you think this happened? How did it make you feel? What feelings and emotions did you have? Were you upset? Were you frustrated? Were you angry? What were the emotions that you felt during this time and even after the fact? And think about, could you have been included? In what ways could someone have included you? If someone maybe taught me something about a sport or gave me advice on how to shoot the basketball, I could have been better. Or taken the time to teach me, I could have been better, but no one really did that. And it led to me feeling negative emotions about myself. So, overall, what I'm trying to get at here is that there is a need for kindness, empathy, and compassion. People need to be kind and empathetic and compassionate when it comes to including others. It takes time to understand other. It takes time to really include people, but it can be done. So this brings me to my friend's story. I'm not going to mention her name due to privacy, but I was really close friends with her in middle school, and she had Down syndrome, and she spent most of the day in a separate classroom. However, she did join us for homeroom classes and for recess. And everyone noticed, including her aide, that she was happier and she laughed and smiled more often when she was with other students. Furthermore, her aide mentioned that she was more engaged. She was more engaged with the material that was being presented in the class where all the students were versus in the separated classroom. At recess, she also participated in a lot of sports, and we also played basketball. Sometimes we didn't play traditional basketball and would just throw the basketball back and forth to each other, but it was still fun and we had a great time. Furthermore, we talked a lot and I learned a lot about her. And I learned about a lot about different ways of thinking and uh, it really changed my outlook on life. So not only did creating an inclusive environment include her in activities and make her feel more seen and happy and just overall more content, but it also provided others, including myself, with different ideas and honestly increased happiness as well. So, what I'm trying to get at here is that both those that include and or both those that are being included in both and those that are including benefit from this process. So, how can inclusion benefit an individual's mental and emotional health? So, inclusion provides individuals with a sense of belonging. Being provided with a sense of a belonging can increase happiness and it can increase connectedness. Furthermore, it can decrease feelings of sadness and decrease feelings associated with exclusion, such as frustration and even anger. Furthermore, lack of inclusion has been noted to be linked to depression. In one of the podcasts provided in this class, it was noted that depression is the leading cause of disability across the world. So, if individuals took more time to include people, there would be less of a prevalence of depression and therefore less disability, specifically mental disabilities across the world, which is truly beneficial. Furthermore, this podcast talked about how uh, workplaces can include individuals and make them feel seen by providing wellness coaches and provided slash covered therapies, especially for those with mental disabilities or mental illnesses such as depression. And overall, there is an emphasis that there is a need for education regarding the benefits of inclusion and the downsides of not including people, such as increasing the prevalence of depression. Furthermore, a study on inclusive activities in a group of individuals with various special needs indicated that inclusive activities such as sports, arts, theater, etc., increase self-esteem, self-confidence, and coping skills, and decreased stress and negative emotions. So overall benefiting those with special needs and their mental health. And lastly, what's something that I found very interesting is that the mental health of the one including, so the one taking the time to acknowledge others' differences and adapt to them also benefits, and people report being happier and healthier regarding their mental and emotional health. So, what about one's physical health? Social isolation has also been linked to poor health. A study discussed how social isolation has had negative effects on cardiovascular, neuroendocrine, and immune system health. Furthermore, social isolation in another study was linked to increased inflammation. So, that can also be related to immune health as well. Um, Another study also demonstrated that removing physical barriers, such as in the playground or in recreational centers, also promoted individuals to be more physically active. So, providing accessible environments increases physical activity, which is good for one's physical health and can also encourage playtime, such as removing physical barriers in the playground. So, the need for physical inclusivity in public spaces. In a study that interviewed people with physical um, disabilities, half claimed to experience physical barriers. And this was in 2015, which I would say is still relatively recent. Many that reported that were reported were height of sales desks, lack of accessible toilets, lack of low floor buses, lack of accessible trams, lack of venues and accessible formats, and lack of curb access. What should be noticed here is that many physical barriers can be transformed so that they are accessible. Venues, for example, in accessible formats, something that could be easily done if people just put extra time and effort into providing that for individuals. What is also something that is important to mention is that these kind of physical changes not only are beneficial for those with physical disabilities, but also can be beneficial for those that are elderly. It improves their safety, such as removing excess curbs or stairs. Furthermore, it's more accessible for families, for strollers, providing ramps and low floor buses could be very accessible and easier for families to adapt to and use. The need for inclusivity in the classroom and work setting. So, in the classroom, this is where we first learn about belonging. It's where we first learn that belonging is a right, as mentioned in our readings. It's not just a privilege that is offered to some and not to others. It is something that should be given to all. Furthermore, in the classroom, this is where we first learn that everyone has something to contribute. Um, we learn that people think different ways and bring different perspectives into different conversations. In the classroom as well, we can translate what we learn into our personal and professional environments, which is something that was mentioned in lecture. What we learn in the classroom is so crucial that it could affect our long-lasting outlook on life in our personal and work settings. In a study when students with disabilities and students without disabilities were all integrated, we it was learned that individuals are able to better learn about diversity and have a positive outlook and be more understanding when integrated with individuals with different aspects and different needs in their lives. Furthermore, it helped these children develop unique social skills, something that wouldn't happen if the classroom was not integrated, and furthermore, it enhanced cognitive development. In the work setting, inclusivity can go a long way as well. It welcomes flexibility and it supports those with and who may develop disabilities. It's mentioned that most people will develop a disability at some point in their life. So really it creates a flexible environment in if a work setting is inclusive. Furthermore, an inclusive work setting encourages support. It allows everyone to participate and it helps people recognize and embrace others' differences. What something that was mentioned in a reading provided in the course that I thought was very interesting is that it's also good for business. Those with those work settings with uh, inclusive environments had 28% higher revenue than those that did not, which is honestly really beneficial. And workplaces should take note of this and try to transform their environments so that everyone feels included, because not only does it benefit their employees, but it also benefits their business. So, overall, there's the need for inclusivity in everyday life. There's nothing but positive outcomes from being inclusive. It increases happiness. It benefits mental, physical, and emotional well-being of individuals, as mentioned in the previous slides. It provides a sense of belonging. It creates better relationships. It increases success and opportunities. It increases productivity. It opens up pathways to new ideas. It fosters a welcoming community. And there's so many more examples of the positive outcomes of being inclusive. Therefore, inclusivity needs to be practiced so that all are given the opportunity to become happier, healthier, and overall better individuals. So, in what ways can you be more inclusive? There are many ways that you can be more inclusive in your daily life. Here are a few that I think are very achievable and something that you can change in your daily life right now. You can make an effort to listen and to be more understanding. You can keep an open mind to new ideas and different perspectives. Set aside what you think you may know and actually listen to others before making judgments. Acknowledge others, make eye contact, avoid using words that may be offensive, such as dumb or stupid. In a video provided in the course, an individual talks about how they came into contact with another person that was offended by the word dumb in a book title in a book stand that was behind her. And it wasn't because of the word truly in itself, but it was her interaction with the word and how she really had trauma associated with the word. So really rethink the word choices that you are using and think about how it may be offensive to those, even if it's not directed in an offensive manner. Offer assistance when needed. And if you notice someone using ableist and exclusive language slash behavior, please call them out. Overall, be a kind person. It is truly not that hard. So the role of kindness, kindness goes a long way, makes someone feel included, brightens someone's day, makes someone feel seen, can foster trust, makes people feel safe and welcomed, which is honestly amazing, and causes someone to also act out of kindness. Kindness is contagious. Being kind is the first step to inclusivity. Be the change by spreading kindness. Thank you.